The grounds around the San Diego County Water Authority offices are dressed in a water-wise xeriscape of cacti and aloe, and today it really looks like a desert. The sky is a monotone blue, and even though it's January, the temperature is in the 80s. But Water Authority Assistant General Manager Dennis Cushman says despite the hot, dry winter, they've still got plenty of water for 2018.
We'd like to see more precipitation, but we're prepared, and we spent billions of dollars and several decades preparing for years like this and stretches of years like this.
Thanks to Water Authority investments and steep price hikes for ratepayers, Cushman says San Diego has a diversified set of water sources and an impressive network of infrastructure.
New and expanded reservoirs, interconnecting pipelines and pump stations that allow us to store enough water for emergencies, about 90,000 acre-feet of water for emergencies.
An acre-foot of water is enough for 2 four-person households for a year in San Diego. There was a time when 95% of San Diego's water came from the Metropolitan Water District, a wholesaler that gets water from the Colorado River and the Sacramento Bay Delta. Today, only 40% of the local water comes from Metropolitan.
It's declining, and it's about on par with our independent water transfers from the Colorado River that we do on our own.
Currently, 38% of the county's water comes from the Imperial Water Transfer Deal, which Cushman referred to. And that's not all. There are 2 big sources of water in San Diego that in the past we never took advantage of. The biggest one is the one that's right behind me, the Pacific Ocean. But now that we have a desalination plant in Carlsbad, 10% of San Diego County's water supply comes from the ocean. Sanitizing wastewater for use as drinking water? That's the new frontier. Al Lau is a water engineer with the Padre Dam Water District. He stands near a small demonstration plant in Santee that purifies the water that goes down the drain and down the toilet. Just south of the plant, a pipeline carries wastewater from East County to Point Loma, where it will be treated and dumped out to sea.
We look at all the wastewater currently, it's literally flow past us, 14 million gallons all the way to the Pacific Ocean. We kind of see that as a waste of resources.
At a cost of $460 million, Padre Dam wants to phase in a system that will eventually purify all of those 14 million gallons a day of wastewater and pump it into Lake Jennings for storage.
That water, once again in Lake Jennings, will blend it with other sources of imported water supply before it's treated again, and that water will be basically provided to the entire community in East County.
The City of San Diego Public Works Department expects to do even more. They plan to purify 100 million gallons a day of wastewater that now goes out to sea. San Diego's cost of building Phase 1 of the project, $1.3 billion. The diversification of San Diego's water supply has come at a cost. Since the early 90s, the average cost of an acre-foot of water has tripled, even as per capita demand for water has dropped substantially. Desalinated seawater, to take one example, is twice the cost of imported water from the Metropolitan Water District. The County Water Authority's Dennis Cushman says there's a reason desalinated water is more expensive.
It's way more reliable, so it's not an apples-to-apples comparison. It's the most reliable supply in our portfolio, contrasted with sometimes the least reliable supply of water, the water from the Bay Delta, for instance, that we get from Metropolitan.
California will never be free from the whims of drought patterns. Marty Ralph is a meteorologist and director of the Center for Western Weather and Water Extremes at UC San Diego. He says California's rainfall future will be very unpredictable.
I do think the likely scenario for the future is a continuation of the very dynamic climate we have here in California, which goes from very wet to very dry from year to year. The climate projections are saying that's going to increase. The extremes are going to become greater.
He says that means we need to predict short-term weather patterns more precisely and make more effective use of our system of dams and reservoirs.
We're in the 21st century now. We need every drop of water to do more work for us than it used to. So we need the systems, the knowledge, the science, the policies, all to support that greater use and conservation of the water.
Tom Fudge, KPBS News.